A heartbeat. A plucked guitar string. The swing of a pendulum. The quartz crystal ticking inside your watch. Even a skyscraper swaying in the wind. Every one of these is the same thing in disguise, motion that repeats itself over and over at regular intervals. Physicists call it oscillation. And here is the astonishing part. An enormous range of these oscillators, mechanical, electrical, even atomic, all obey the very same handful of equations. Master just one of them, a simple block on a spring, and you have, in effect, mastered them all. Let's build the language. The frequency f is how many complete cycles happen each second, measured in hertz. The time for a single cycle is the period t, and the two are simply reciprocals, t equals 1 over f. The simplest and most important oscillation of all is one where the displacement traces a perfect cosine curve in time. We write it like this. Three quantities carry all the meaning. Xm is the amplitude, the farthest the object ever gets from the center. Omega is the angular frequency, the speed of the cycling. And phi, the phase constant, just fixes where in the cycle our clock starts. Watch it happen. On the left, the block glides back and forth. On the right, that very same motion unrolls in time as a smooth cosine wave. Same motion, two ways of seeing it. Because a cosine repeats every 2 pi radians, the angular frequency ties straight to the period and the frequency. And here is the hallmark of simple harmonic motion. A big swing and a tiny swing take exactly the same time. The period does not depend on the amplitude. If displacement is a cosine, what are velocity and acceleration? Just differentiate. Each derivative of a cosine pulls down a factor of omega and nudges the phase. Plot all three together. Notice the rhythm. When displacement is greatest, velocity is 0 and acceleration is largest, pulling back hard. And right at the center, the object is racing at full speed, velocity peaks exactly where displacement is nothing. Compare the top and bottom curves and something jumps out. Acceleration is always the negative of omega squared times the displacement. This single relation is the true definition of simple harmonic motion. Now feed that signature into Newton's second law. The force required is mass times acceleration, which becomes minus m omega squared times x. A restoring force, proportional to displacement, always pointing back toward home. But that is exactly Hooke's law for a spring. Force equals minus kx, line them up and the spring constant must equal m omega squared. Solve for omega, and the whole oscillator falls out. Omega is the square root of k over m. And the period is 2 pi times the square root of m over k. A stiffer spring buzzes faster, a heavier block lumbers slower. And once again, no amplitude in sight. See it directly. Two identical blocks, the left on a stiff spring, the right on a soft one. Released together, the stiff spring completes its cycles well before the soft one. Stiffness wins the race. And this is the master key to the whole chapter. Whenever a displaced system feels a restoring force in proportion to the displacement, its motion is simple harmonic. Find the effective stiffness, find the effective inertia, and the period drops straight out. As the block oscillates, energy never leaves, it just changes form. The spring stores potential energy, 1/2 kx squared. The moving block carries kinetic energy, 1/2 mv squared. Watch the two stores trade places. At the turning points, the block is frozen for an instant and every scrap of energy is potential. Rushing through the center, it is all kinetic and the speed is greatest. Yet look at the total bar on the right, it never moves. Add them and the answer is beautifully clean. The total mechanical energy is 1/2 kxm squared, set entirely by the amplitude and the stiffness. It is a constant of the motion, trading between the two stores twice every single cycle. The springiness doesn't need a spring. Twist a disc hanging from a wire, and the wire fights back with a torque proportional to the twist, the angular version of Hooke's law. This is a torsion pendulum, and its period follows the same master pattern. Now let gravity be the spring. A simple pendulum, a bob on a string of length L, for small swings, the restoring torque is again proportional to the angle, so the motion is very nearly simple harmonic. The result is striking. The period depends only on the length and the local gravity, not on the mass of the bob and not on the amplitude. That is why a pendulum makes such a faithful clock and such a sensitive probe of gravity. Swing a whole rigid body about a pivot instead of a point mass, and you get the physical pendulum. Replace length by rotational inertia over mgh, and the simple pendulum is just one special case hiding inside it. Here is one of the loveliest pictures in all of physics. Take a particle moving steadily around a circle at constant angular speed. Now watch only its shadow, its projection onto a straight line. That shadow slides back and forth along the diameter, and it moves in perfect simple harmonic motion. The projection of the reference particle traces out exactly xm cosine omega t, the same wave we started with. In the real world, nothing swings forever. Friction and air drag quietly bleed energy away, so the amplitude fades. This is damped motion. With a drag force proportional to speed, the solution is a cosine trapped inside a shrinking envelope. The amplitude falls off exponentially, as e to the minus bt over 2m for light damping the frequency barely shifts, and the energy drains away smoothly. The swing simply gets smaller and smaller until it settles at rest. What if we refuse to let it die and push it with an external periodic force? The oscillator gives in and settles into swinging at the driving frequency, not its own. But how big is the response? That depends entirely on how well the two frequencies match. The response peaks sharply when the driving frequency equals the natural frequency, the condition we call resonance. And the lighter the damping, the taller and narrower that peak becomes. You already know resonance in your bones. A child on a swing, small pushes, timed just right, build an enormous arc. Timed wrong, they fizzle to nothing. That same effect can shatter a wine glass and, infamously, tear bridges and buildings apart. Let's gather the whole chapter into a single map. At the center sits simple harmonic motion. From it branch the force law, the energy, the pendulums, the circle connection, damping, and resonance, every one of them the same idea, wearing a different costume. If you remember only one thing, remember this. Spot the restoring stiffness, spot the inertia, and the period is 2 pi times the square root of inertia over stiffness. That one pattern covers the spring, the torsion pendulum, and both swinging pendulums. Here's a challenge before we close. You take a pendulum clock that keeps perfect time and carry it up a tall mountain where gravity is a little weaker. Pause and predict, does it run fast or slow? Weaker gravity means a longer period, so the clock ticks slower and falls behind. From the atom to the skyscraper, from the guitar string to the swing in the park, it is all one motion and one equation. That is the quiet power of oscillation.